For me, good morning, everyone. For you, how was your late evening recording?
Yeah, we're good. Doing great. Yeah, we're
John,
having a good time here.
You got to say it. Start us off.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this interview with Kevin Alford.
Yeah, and I can say my name correctly and everything.
Oh, man, yeah.
We are
trying to impress
you. Thank you. I'm very impressed. Aubrey, I love your shirt.
Oh, thank you. I got it from the Marvel Collector's Core box.
We don't have that in Japan. It's very difficult to buy comic books in a country that doesn't.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Oh, man.
But, I'm Amazon. So, how's everybody feeling today? We have a good show?
Yeah, we just finished recording our 9th episode, and I think it went really well. Yeah, we're excited about it.
Today being September 16th, which is Mike Mignola's birthday.
Yeah,
right.
This is his birthday today.
Let's all a jolly happy birthday to the master himself.
Yes, cheers, Mr. Mignola.
Happy birthday.
Thank you for everything.
From the Hellboy Book Club podcast, and maybe someday not just podcast, and also Mignolaverse.com.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see.
So let's
we're
continue.
We're glad to be partnered up with you and Mignolaverse.com. Thank you for everything.
Hey, I'm jazzed, man. I'm trying to get the word out. You guys are doing all the hard stuff, and I'm typing very short explanations afterwards. So
we're just kind of talking about stuff that we like together. It's not that tough.
It's a lot like just hanging out with friends and talking about comics, like what we do normally.
Yeah,
I'm jealous. Don't get it twisted. I wish I could be talking to friends about comics also.
I think that was John's idea for the thing in the first place, is that he wanted to make a book club that everybody could be a part of and follow along and chime in, and
all the Hellboy nerds who are all obsessively reading through all the comics and putting all those pieces together.
Yeah, and it seems pretty successful so far. I think you guys have got a good foothold going, right?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, we've got some great feedback from the community, and everybody seems very supportive so far. No hate mail yet. We haven't got any hate mail yet.
No, everyone's really chill, and we've made a lot of new friends, and the whole community is very chill.
Supportive, I would say. It's very friendly stuff.
Yes, for sure. Lot of support coming from all over.
Aubrey, you gotta key us in on what we're gonna expect from your interview, by the way, because you're gonna be the next one after this. So let's talk about you for a second before we actually talk to you about you later.
Okay.
What's your Hellboy scene? What do you like? What do you expect? What are you looking forward to?
Well, I got into Hellboy. Well, okay, I guess I first started with Hellboy. I saw the movies and the animated films, but I'm actually just now reading the Hellboy. I've never read it before, so I'm actually just enjoying the journey that we're going on, because I know the comic has been out for 25 years now. Through, I'm just enjoying all of it all the way through. It's just been fun reading it, and then like John has been talking to me about it for years. And I've read about
finally brought him on board,
and I've been reading about it like different webs, like comic book resources and stuff like that. Read about the stuff. So I guess that's just kind of where I am with Hellboy. I'm just really looking forward to where this is going, and I'm enjoying the journey. And that's it.
It's the best way to do it, is to be able to talk about it with people.
Yeah, you two are kind of on the same plane then, right? Because Danielle, you had a little bit of experience going in.
I had read some stories here and there that John had give, like, hey, read this, you're gonna love it. And so and I had wanted to start reading it for a long time, and I started, and I would kind of fall off, and I would start again in a different place. And what I really needed was something like this, a format where we all go through it together and talk about a book club. And so that's exactly what we did. That was all John's idea, and it's been really super fun so far. I'm really glad.
I think that shows a lot too. I feel like you guys having a good time really comes through on the show, every episode. That's probably why it's so fun to listen to.
Yeah, we try not to derail too long into sea shanty talk. Lately we've had some sea shanty talk, but I think that's subsided on this last episode.
I am fully on board for the sea shanty talk. Black Flag was a hell of a game.
Yes. I'm glad that you can relate to that experience.
Heavily. Now, Aubrey, I believe you did not have a favorite shanty as of episode 8. I think we heard from the two of them.
I still don't actually have a favorite. Really don't know any shanties by name. I do like them when I hear them, though. So there's that.
Well, you can't go drinking with skeletons if you can't sing in their native tongue, which is the shanty.
Good point.
I'll pick it up if I'm with them. I'm good like that.
When in skeleton Rome. Yeah. Well, I guess probably not a lot of shanties in Rome. All right. Okay, so John's favorite minor character. This is one of my favorite points of the whole Mignolaverse, is the tiny, one-off, usually quickly dead characters. But John's favorite minor character is a single-image scorpion face man with no dialogue or actions or name or body, just a head.
Yeah, I like how you named him Scorpion. What did you put?
Rabinowitz. Scorpion Rabinowitz. He's Lobster Johnson's secret arch nemesis, I think.
Scorpion Rabinowitz. Yeah, that's great. That's great. I want to see that. I want to see that
title.
Yeah, we need some fan art on that.
No, we want real art. He's Lobster Johnson Volume 7. Enter the Rabinowitz. That's how it is. He's a criminal mastermind or archduke or something.
Yeah,
we'll let the writers handle that. So, Danielle, you kind of didn't have a minor character that you really love, or have you thought about it more?
I mean, there are so many, like you said, there's so many characters that pop up and then kind of disappear for a while or altogether. And I really enjoyed Roger, his story.
Oh, Roger is the opposite of a minor character. You'll get there.
He's not minor, but he's, he pops in and out, and then there's a lot of characters that just come and go, and I've been enjoying just all of it. It's hard for me to choose.
Sure, you got a lot of ground to cover before you start singling things out, I suppose.
And that's what I mean. I don't really know everything that's coming up the way that John does. Like, I am excited for b.p.r.d, for example, just because I know that that's going to be more of an ensemble thing, more of a team up sort of a deal, and I like the idea of that, but we haven't quite gotten there yet. So the little things that we do see are all Hellboy centric, where he starts off talking to someone from the b.p.r.d, and then he goes off on his own and then comes back. And so we run into a lot of cool little characters here and there that are really enjoyable. And that's the thing about Mignola's work is, every character is intriguing. Everything draws you in, and you want more of all of that. So it would be difficult to, I think, explore all of that. So at some point we have to leave them and move on, which it works for the story.
They actually kind of seem like they're trying to explore all of them. As time goes on, we're getting some very specific comics. Well, let me give you a non-spoiler spoiler and say, speaking of Roger, John, have you ever cried reading Hellboy?
Oh man, yeah, we're gearing up for some really good stuff with Roger and the b.p.r.d. And I'm really excited to get into all of that. I think it's going to be really good stuff, and there are some surprises in there that I think are going to be will be good for new readers to experience, as well as for all of us to kind of go through together and hold hands and do all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, those are the
share emotional pain.
Those are the comments we keep getting, is people like, I read this 10 years ago and I'm going back and rereading it and getting new things out of it, and so that's definitely been
opening up old scar tissue is what it is.
No, so, I remember just to talk about that again really quick. There was I remember reading b.p.r.d at one point. This is way into Wasteland and all that kind of stuff, and I was just like, I think I was talking to Danielle, and I was like, I don't even know why I read this anymore. It's just breaking my heart. It's just making me so upset every week, every month. But yeah, you can't stop. You have to come back every month and see what's happening with these characters.
Destroy yourself a little more.
They become a big part of they become a big part of the story, and you start to see them as real people.
John R. Curry is a dangerous man.
Yeah.
Aubrey, do you have a minor character you want to weigh in on? Is there anybody that's really stood out to you in the roughly half of Hellboy you guys have read?
I like the little girl from the Lion and the Hydra and the Lion, or what was that one again?
Yeah, the Hydra and the Lion.
Where she goes, grrr. That was so cool.
That's one step above Scorpion Rabinowitz by way of having one line.
That's a very minor character. Yeah. Yeah. Good job.
Good pick. Yeah, you are cued in on that question. Okay, so we talked a little bit about art in the 2 interviews we've done so far, and Danielle, your interview will come out this week, which will probably be before this video interview. So I guess this is number 3, and then Aubrey will be number 4. But does everybody agree Mignola is the top guy for art in this world? Does anybody have a favorite artist above the Beard Father himself?
Well, and that's not, we're not trying to disparage any of the other artists because they're all fantastic.
Not.
And we all love their work for different reasons in different ways. But yeah, I mean, when we're talking about Hellboy or b.p.r.d, I think that we're always excited to see Mike Mignola's art along with his writing. But I mean, that's not to say that we don't enjoy the other artists. I
think going through some of the short stories that we are now, sometimes it's not Mignola art, and then so when you come back to one where it is, it's kind of exciting again. You go like, oh wow, these are Mignola's pencils again. We're getting to, we're going to get another Mignola drawn story, and that's kind of exciting. You get a little bit more pumped for it than you would other stories. Not that there's anything, terrible about it, but it's just yeah, but it's just kind of like once you see those pencils, or like Aubrey said on the last episode, you turn the page from the Crooked Man to the Penangaland and you go, oh great, we're in Mignola's pencils again. We're in this world again. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it really depends on like who's writing the story or what the story fits, because I really do enjoy Mignola's work on the Hellboy, or because I guess he created it and everything. But back when I was younger, back when I first started collecting comics in my teen years, I'd see him fill in every once in a while in some of the old Marvel stuff, and I didn't really dig it, to be honest with you. It took me a while to actually kind of appreciate his work, and I just feel like the Hellboy, the setting, and the whole gothic nature of it just really lends itself to his style. And it's not like something you'd want to see one of the top comic artists at Marvel or DC.
He's like you were saying, he's writing it and he's drawing it, so it's like a writer-director team almost.
Yeah.
I think that's actually one of the biggest strengths of the series. So everybody knows in the last 25 years, Mike's had his fingers on every Hellboy project to some end, right? I think Weird Tales is the only thing that he has really no involvement with.
I think so. And even in the omnibus, or in the Weird Tales hardcover, there's 2 stories in there that are canon. I think 2 little stories that they added.
The best 2 stories. Actually, I really like some of the Weird Tales, but those 2 canon ones are pretty sweet. They've got your semi-favorite guy, Koschei.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was Kashi, but maybe I have no idea. I mispronounce words and names all the time on the podcast.
I think you guys do a good job of going out of your way to get those names correct, and I'm sure that's a lot of work.
Thank you for that. I try.
I have a very good Scottish friend who was trying to teach me how to say the name of the little pig man, and I couldn't quite follow. It's Graga.
Is what I'm saying anywhere near it? Because I'm saying Garagash.
It's more staccato from what I can tell, but I'll see if I can get a recording and send it to you guys.
Yeah, we'd love that input.
Yeah, we would love that.
That would be cool.
It seems maybe necessary. So let's talk about you as a team. How long have you guys known each other?
Oh, that's a great question. I've actually known Aubrey the longest. We've known each other's
like 99, 2000?
Yeah. So we've been friends since then. And then when did I meet you? In like 2003 or somewhere around there?
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've all been, we've all been friends. Aubrey has been my best friend for a long time, and we've always talked comics. We always would get together or just on the phone and talk about, the X-Men crossover or whatever, stuff we were reading.
I remember you used to come over to my house and be like, oh, you got the new Wizard. And then you'd sit there and read the whole magazine.
Yeah. And back when Wizard was a thing. And then with Danielle, I remember lending you comics.
Yeah.
I would lend her comics, and then we would talk
about them.
We would get together at a bar sometimes, and we would just sit there and go through the pages one by one and just talk about them. And
our own little book club.
Yeah, and it's kind of like that good feeling when if you're lucky enough to have people to talk about comics with, kind of wanted to bring that feel to the podcast. So it's stuff that we would probably do anyway, just in our normal lives, but we're just putting it out there for everybody else to kind of join the conversation.
So what was the first book club then? Obviously not, well, maybe not together, but Danielle, do you remember the first comics that he
The Sword by the Luna Brothers.
Yeah, The Sword by the Luna Brothers.
Stuff.
It's an Image series. Yeah,
there it is.
We both have the sword on us. Yeah,
Aubrey?
it's a very no. Aubrey does.
No, I only got the one tattoo on the leg. It's Green Lantern.
The weird part is I don't have that.
No, but he's also got a Hellboy tattoo, and I'm working on my first Mignola tattoo. I'm kind of trying to decide like what.
Yeah, but we
lends itself really well to tattoos. His art style, I think.
Screw on Head is the best of the Mignola.
Yeah.
He fits anywhere because he's very small. Okay, so Aubrey, do you remember the first comic you and John discussed?
It was probably Spider-Man or X-Men. I do, though, remember the very first time I met him, I tried to impress him by this really cool Tool bootleg video that I borrowed from a friend who borrowed that from another friend. And John was like, I'm that other friend.
Nice.
But it's probably Spider-Man
Book Club.
Probably
podcast?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Good. Speaking of Tool, what's Maynard's current band right now? Is he still doing
A Perfect Circle?
We're not talk about that here.
Are you going to get into some? So okay, Tool, Maynard, none of that stuff is really Hellboy related, but I think there's probably a lot of crossover in those kind of dark tone rock and roll stuff, and I guess I would probably say modern alternative or semi-modern alternative. Seems like there's probably a lot of Hellboy fans that listen to that stuff. Are you guys gonna
all the shit that
what
happened with him?
I don't
want to talk about this guy.
Danielle doesn't want to talk about Maynard or whatever.
Fair enough. Are you going to talk about music is the question.
Yeah, we're gonna just avoid all of that.
Yeah, in terms of in terms of music, I on our last episode we talked a little bit about some Nine Inch Nails that I was listening to when I was reading the Hellboy Library Edition. So yeah, we've always been into music. Aubrey and I would talk about music that we would listen to while reading comics and stuff like that. Yeah, so I think that there's a lot of crossover with Hellboy fans and kind of the music, hard rock. We've made some references on the podcast to musicians like Neil Fallon from Clutch. Neil Fallon from Clutch, yeah. And then somebody posted on Facebook, Clutch reference. We had a couple people that were psyched to. So I guess it's Clutch and Hellboy. There's definitely some crossover there. We've been finding out.
I heard there's a band in Texas called some kind of Just Monsters or something. It's like a real simple name. I don't know, something.
One of our favorite mispronunciations was somebody thought we were called Lonely Bees.
Lonely Bees. Actually, snagged the Twitter handle.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Lonely Bees.
We've come to refer to any kind of acoustic set that we do, which is very rare. We're not an acoustic band, but every once in a while, someone's like, hey, do you want to do this charity gig? It's acoustic. And we're like, we'll look like assholes if we don't do this charity gig. It's like for children with cancer or something. And we're like, yeah, sure, we'll do it. So we'll put together an acoustic set. And we ended up calling ourselves Lonely Bees whenever we do that.
Lonely Bees, yeah, that's our acoustic name. But yes, the name of the band is Only Beast.
Only Beast, yeah.
Right, sorry.
As John has been telling people for 8 years, it's a reference to Wolves of St. August. Yeah. There's a whole splash page where the werewolf is tearing off his human skin, and the line before that is Grenier no more, or something like that. Only Beast. And it's huge. It's this big moment in the story where he reveals that he's this horrifying werewolf. It really resonated with us.
It's one of so in Hellboy, there's a lot of very memorable single images, and I think they usually come from some kind of twist. For example, Rasputin with the fire head after he gets shot.
After he gets shot, and that sigil, he says like a symbol. Yeah, that's great.
I feel like that St. August skin tearing moment is absolutely one of those twists that really sticks with you, and I think that kind of surprising punch of a narrative maneuver is probably one of the main things that makes Hellboy so enjoyable as a book. You know, there's always something very easy to remember about that art style and storytelling.
Yeah, and there's usually a lot of really good pacing leading up to it, so the pacing will kind of pick up, and then it really makes those moments just kind of stand out for you really well. I think of when Lobster Johnson is shooting all the Nazi ghosts in Conqueror Worm, and it just cuts to these shots of Lobster Johnson just screaming and shooting people. It's those images just get really burned into the memory.
There's a really beautiful callback to that also, which I guess you guys are going to reach in your b.p.r.d. episodes, not especially soon, but
right
sometime
down the line for sure.
Yeah, you'll get there. That's absolutely one of my favorites. I think the lobster is the hero we all need in our lives, which is why
a lot of people seem really taken by him. I'm really excited to see more of him, for sure.
Yeah, same here.
We on Mignolaverse.com, we just put up our kind of speculation article for the new movie last night, and my writer Danny, who you guys will probably talk to soon, is speculating that there might be a certain cameo of a particularly justified crustacean, and
wow,
if we can get there, cool. I will be very happy.
Wow, that would be really exciting.
Everything I've seen, I'm trying to avoid a lot of. Yeah. We're trying to avoid a lot of that because we're huge on spoilers. We don't want the movie to be ruined before we even see it. We want to see the whole thing as it's meant to be seen, just one big thing. And so I haven't really read a lot about it, but I am very excited for it, and I'm really excited to see. You know, we've got a new Hellboy. We've got, it's a whole new world. So I'm really excited to see what they do with it this time.
I can't wait for the first trailer to drop.
Yeah, next week.
I think October 6th or something like that. Okay. It's coming up. It's coming up pretty soon. Yeah, there'll probably be a trailer.
Well, I know that they're like having something at New York Comic Con, so I think they'll probably drop it then.
Yeah. Sounds like they have basically the whole cast plus Mike and maybe the other writer, I think, are all going to be at New York Comic Con. So yeah, they're going to have to give him something. I wouldn't be surprised if we see David Harbour come out in the full.
Oh wow,
that would be slick.
That would be amazing. But I think the other writer is Christopher Golden, who's collaborated with Mignola a lot on other things,
sadly,
right?
Yeah. Golden, basically everything that's not a comic book, Golden's on. But no, sadly they apparently took him off the film. It's somebody else. I don't recall the name.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like I said, we haven't been reading anything. So
there's a whole kind of shadow conspiracy right now. So if we can find some more information about it, we'll put up an article and I will send it to you guys to peruse. Yeah. So Aubrey, you're a big fan of the movies, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I own both of them in the animated films, but it's been a while since I've actually seen them. I did rewatch the first one right before we started the book club, just because I could just be a little more. I guess I don't know. I just like the movie.
And I would say all four of them are at least pretty good. Probably some of them are great. Do you have a favorite that you recall, Aubrey? You got four choices, if you can remember them enough.
I would have to say I like the Golden Army a lot. That one was really good. But man, it's probably been like 10 years since I've last seen it. But I will have to say though, I mean, it's in the animated stuff. It really kind of just doesn't compare to the actual comic stories themselves. I mean, not to trash the movies or anything because they're really good, but there's just something about the tone, like in like the first movie where where Rasputin calls Hellboy. Hellboy pops up and it's like this gun battle and people are freaking out. But in the comic,
Hollywooded it up, yeah.
Yeah, but in the comic, it's all kind of like Rasputin and them are over here and these guys over here. There's no gun battle or anything.
Well, they took their time with it a little more. Obviously, Mignola's pacing, as we've been talking about, is a little different. So
yeah, it's just like the pacing is different, and I'm really starting to prefer the comic because it's also building that whole world that they don't really get a chance to get into in the movies.
That's the main thing that I've heard from fans is pretty much everybody likes the films. They certainly look great, even if they don't have the characters exactly correct. But the main feedback I've ever heard from any Hellboy fan is now most of them hear Ron Perlman's voice whenever they see or read any of that stuff.
I have to agree with that.
I do too.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Have any of you seen the motion comic that Dark Horse did about 5 years ago? Oh, no, you shouldn't, because that would be a huge spoiler.
It's
John,
the
have you
Fury,
seen the
right, or
motion
something like
comic?
that. I
Yeah,
think
the
I
Fury,
have
yeah.
seen them, but I don't remember. I don't really remember.
I do
who
not
is the
like
voice?
motion comics. I don't watch them.
I have no
They're
idea.
dumb. Just read the comic.
Who is
Really?
who is the
Anti-motion
voice on that?
I don't know any of the cast on that one. I don't remember. I should probably check into that.
Is
I
it
did
good?
post I made a YouTube playlist of the, I think, 6 parts and put it up on Mignolaverse.com. But definitely, Aubrey, Danielle, do not watch that at this point. You aside from very confusing, you're gonna get a lot of spoilers, and that's not where you want to be.
Unless it's some sort of thing where you've got some sort of a deal where that's easier or better for you in some way. I'm sure that there are people who are like, I prefer that actually because of this reason. It's necessary. Reading comics for me is not as easy. I don't know. I don't like, personally, my preference, I think they're not. Just read the comic. Just read it.
I've seen quite a I would say quite a few. I've seen a few different motion comics, and I can only think of really one that I thought was really decent. But for the most part, I'm on the same page with Danielle. Just read the comics.
Which one was decent? Which one did you like?
It was this Iron Man Extremis one that.
Yeah, I did see that one too. That one was pretty good.
Well, you're the one who told me to watch it because it led into that Iron Man graphic novel you let me borrow.
Or just make a cartoon. Like if you're gonna make, just I don't know.
Yeah.
Just animate it. If you're gonna animate it, animate it. If you're gonna read the comic, read the comic. This in between thing is so.
It's
anyway,
weird.
I'm done with my rant about motion comics. Sorry.
I would recommend everybody check out the Watchmen motion comic they did around the time that they made the film, because every voice is done by one person.
Yeah.
And the girl voice
even the female voices, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually turned it off
Wow.
because of that reason.
Probably a good choice.
I was like,
okay,
I can't watch
do...
this for 12 issues.
Watchmen is a special topic that maybe someday we'll actually that's a good question for the book club. So Hellboy has a lot of material, and you guys have a long ways to go. You've probably done maybe 10% of the total.
Yeah, I don't know, if even that, there's so much.
Judging by John's bookshelf over here, maybe maybe a little less.
And obviously they're still producing, including this week, I believe, the Crimson Lotus series is coming out, which Crimson Lotus being a name that certainly you guys haven't heard, but
No.
soonish.
Yeah, soonish we'll get to all that good stuff.
It's in b.p.r.d. anyway. So look forward to that. But after you all finish, is there something you personally want to cover?
Wow. I don't know. I talked about this a little bit. Maybe Baltimore. Baltimore seems like a logical extension, since it's also done by Mignola, and it has like a rich kind of interwoven storyline. Although it's only 8 trades, I think, or something like that. But that might be a good segue as far as the comic. And there's the single book, and then there's like 8 trades of comic, I think. So maybe something like that. But that would be way off. I'm not even there yet in my head.
Wasn't there a book? Wasn't there like a book that had?
Yeah, there's some Hellboy novels as well. Yeah, that might be good. Or even like The Sword would be kind of good, I guess. It has nothing to do with Hellboy though, but I guess if we literally had nothing else,
like a spin-off.
It would have to be like a spin-off.
There's so much Hellboy related, Hellboy adjacent Mignola stuff. I mean, it's the Hellboy book club, not the Mignola book club, but I guess, anything that's Hellboy adjacent would be appropriate to cover, so you never know.
Even if we got to the end of all the Mignola stuff, like I didn't even know if I wouldn't even want to do like, I mean, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd have to be like something like where it was like we're just like the comic book club and we talk about the Sword one day, or maybe Saga the next day.
Right, something like that, or even maybe some other Mignola stories, like some of the Batman stories that Mignola has done, or stuff like that.
This might be a good opportunity for you to talk about that music, though. Once you finish the book, start talking about bands that you like, maybe things that you listen to while reading. Certainly the Ghosts, I want to say soundtrack. It's not a soundtrack, but the album Ghosts, definitely good background music.
Yeah, pretty creepy stuff. It goes along well with Hellboy.
I think if we found we were ever reaching for content, that would I would not be interested in that.
Yeah.
I think if we're having
We
a
have a
discussion
definite
if we're having a discussion that's pertinent to what we're doing, that's useful for other people, then sure, why not? But I don't ever want this to become just like a content machine. This is for us, literally is a book club that we're inviting people to join us and hoping that we're all getting something out of it. I think that's pretty much what we're doing.
Well said.
I would say definitely people are along for the ride. You know, I'm sure more people will join, but at the moment, I'm sure there are quite a few people happily following along with you guys because you're making a great show. And personally, I really appreciate it. And on behalf of the website, we all appreciate that. And
thank you.
Everybody else probably.
We're happy to do it, even if we weren't recording or.
Yeah, even if no one else heard any of this, we'd still be doing it.
I think,
so.
and I'd be happy. I'd be happy just to be able to do what I do and nerd out in a safe space with my friends, talking about my favorite comic.
So let's finish on this one. So everybody, please pick one thing that is Mignolaverse related that you're most looking forward to. So it could be the film, the board game, a character that you've heard of. Oh yes, the board. We'll get into the board game another time, but
I am kind of a fucking nerd, so I do want to see what the board game is like. I still don't even know like what format it is or any of that. So I'm not sure, but that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to
stay tuned to Mignolaverse.com for some very exclusive content.
Very cool.
Cool.
I'm really looking forward to the movie. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it. I love The Descent. I think The Descent is I have claustrophobia, so that's like one of the scariest movies that I've ever seen, like hands down. So I think they have a great choice of director. Having Mignola along as part of the story writer, I think is awesome, an awesome idea. So I'm really excited for that. I hope they get their own Hellboy universe, cinematic universe going on.
I guess I'm also excited for the movie as well. When I first heard that they were doing the movie without Ron Perlman, I was just like, what? And then I saw that first picture of David Harbour. Thank you. I can never remember his last name. And I love Stranger Things. When I saw that first image of him as Hellboy, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so awesome. So I'm pretty looking forward to looking at that. And it'd be great if they turned it into a cinematic universe, but I really just want it to be a really good movie.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I'm excited to read some b.p.r.d. like I was saying earlier. I get kind of an X-Files-y vibe of like, we're paranormal investigators working as a team. We all have different personality traits. I'm really excited about shit like that. Whatever
you're gonna get a lot more of that government team. You know, it's called b.p.r.d, so you should probably expect that. But yeah, if you really liked Seed of Destruction when you saw Hellboy and the Liz and Abe coming together, then you're gonna really enjoy the new stuff.
It's a Hellboy mystery. We're all working together. We're a weird team. It's weird stuff, but it's normal to us because we see weird shit all the time. That kind of thing.
They get a lot of mileage out of that concept too. Everybody gets real hardened by the end there, but definitely get the oversized box of tissues once you get going on b.p.r.d, because Hellboy in general is kind of a feel-good series, whereas b.p.r.d is very much a tragedy most of the time. So good luck. Yeah. Try and keep it in.
I do like to hurt myself in that very specific way. So
it's a good pain. I just finished last night b.p.r.d 1948. It's 4678, right? Yeah. So I read 1948 last night, and the last panel was just a crushing, painful thing to see before I went to sleep, and that was fun. That was a good day.
What did we do to
ourselves? No, I just read I don't know if you've read the newest issue of b.p.r.d. The one that
I've heard a little
week,
bit, but
10.
no, I'm not caught up on Wake the Devil. No, Wake the Devil. What's it called?
The Devil Who Knows, or the Devil You Know.
Yeah, the other devil. The new devil. Second devil, they call it. Yeah. Street name, Devil 2. Yeah, no, I'm slowly working my way through the back issues because it's very hard to buy comics in Japan. I don't want to buy single digital, so I'm mostly waiting on omnibus stuff. So right now I'm in Hell on Earth, and then I'll get into the Devil.
Yeah.
The Devil's brother.
Oh man, it's I'm not even going to say anything. You're going to really enjoy it though.
Oh, I'm sure. I know about that, Joy. So, thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate getting to talk to all of you, and I mostly even more appreciate all of the work you're doing to really bring the community up together, kind of fill in a lot of the backstory, teach me how to say names like Jarescu, because I certainly wasn't saying that when I read it the first time. But thank you very much for your time and your work
having us.
and
Thank you.
Your beautiful faces.
Thank you, Kevin, so much. I think it's an awesome thing that you're doing for the community. I'm really excited for Mignolaverse. I'm excited for our partnership. So you're awesome, and it's great to be able to talk to you in person and actually look at you and say, hey, here's the guy that's doing all the good work over here.
Yeah, well, the guy that's trying to direct people to all the good work, and hopefully that's working. Good working.
Thanks for all the support.
Thank you. Yeah, so check out Only Beast on Twitter at Only Beast. Only Beast.
We're not really on Twitter. We're on more Facebook.
No, you're on Instagram. And
we're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can find our music on Bandcamp and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, we just had a video come out recently, so you can check that out.
Shout out to Peter, our guitar player.
Hey, Pete. Aubrey, is there anything you want to direct people towards, either your project or something you're really interested in right now?
No, I don't have anything.
Check out the Hellboy Book Club.
There's this really cool podcast you guys might have heard of, Hellboy Book Club.
These two.
They're a good team. All right. Well, thank you for everything. We will post this with links so people don't have to go searching, and hopefully we will do this again sometime soon.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome.
That would be great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good luck and enjoy when you finally get into b.p.r.d. and all of the crying.